Okay, hi to everyone. So this is it's not really a weekly podcast, it's a podcast when we get around to doing a podcast for an update, general news, that type of thing. So we've got some news, so we thought we'd do a podcast. And it's, Tuesday today at about 3 o'clock, so we're only 15 minutes late, which is good. So welcome to the SRA update.
So as always, lots and lots of things happening. And I think part of the frustration for us is that we have so many things that we want to do, so many I's that we need to dot, so many T's we need to cross. And it just takes time for us to get it to the level that we want it to go. But the great thing is that the actual process behind the academy has all changed. It's made our lives a lot easier. We're using a software customer relationship management tool that is just making our whole work process so much smoother. And that means that our practitioners, those that are coming through and those that have been trained through us already, are now going to be placed into a new sort of online hub, which is great for the community that we have. And it's just going to assist in making the communication channels between us and our students and the practitioners that we have just so much smoother.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think we've spent a lot of time really behind the scenes. Like all things, as you grow, we sort of need to remember ourselves sometimes that SRA has grown like very exponentially quickly. So 2 years ago, we were still working on our website, still working on our courses and trying to get online courses available. Now we've got online courses working off a really good CRM system, as John has just detailed. So when customers log in now, effectively you can log in and buy a course online. So you've got a psychic protection course and an introduction to spirituality course that you can buy online. They're totally serviced, self-service online. So you just log in, create an account, pay for the course. You can start 10 seconds later and effectively work through that course and then finish. So it's quite a big step change to actually have online courses available on demand, really. And obviously behind the scenes, we're both kind of feverishly working on new offerings, new courses, new things that we're doing, as well as all the other things that SRA does. So into just over 2 years, 2 and a bit years, we're kind of in a position where we've got a very, very professional architected IT back end now, and that system's working really well. Obviously, the courses that we're working, online courses, still the in-person courses. But I think one of the things that we've delivered, really, from our perspective, and it's been on John and mine's roadmap for quite some time, is we wanted to have an app, basically. We're kind of aware that when people do our courses, certainly the Q&A course, if you join to do the online course or the in-person course, there's a Q&A course that you do first. And the Q&A course was done online via your website browser, so Safari, Chrome, that type of thing. And we're kind of aware it was a bit clunky, it was a bit difficult to navigate. People found it was fit for purpose at the time, but it certainly wasn't where we wanted things to be. And what we've actually got now is we've got an app, basically. You can download the app and the courses can be consumed inside the app. So you can be listening to content whilst you're driving, you can be listening to content whilst you're doing other things. So effectively what we're doing really is we're offering the opportunity for you guys that are interested in spirituality to actually consume our content on the go, rather than being sat at a screen having to type things in. And that's kind of a massive step change, really, from our perspective.
And I think part of that is that we've always realized is that the work that we do has a kind of captive audience from around the world, really. We've got people in Australia that are training with us, all the way through Europe, Asia, coming through the Americas. You know, we're now speaking to somebody about coming through who's going to take on the Spanish section, the Spanish language, teaching what we do. So there's been so much work going on. But also, you know, the convenience of doing the study is that Andy and I are obviously UK based, but the courses we have now are automated and you can actually go on in your timeline whenever's convenient to you. And the courses that we have coming through now, the foundation course, we've got our foundation course level 1, which is coming out in just a couple of weeks. And that will be visual as well as audio. So if you are on a commute to work, you can just put this in and you can just train, learn, and do the foundation course without spending any extra time in your day. And that makes it so much easier, so much more convenient. And that will be a massive step for anybody who is kind of thinking about becoming a practitioner, but you just want to know a little bit more before you make that final commitment before doing our level 2 course. And this is also where we've changed the sort of dynamics of our courses, is that previously we just had one course. Now we have 3. And this is, so I'm now talking about courses for the actual spirit release therapy. We have our foundation course, which is a theory-based course helping people to understand exactly what it is we do. We have our practitioner course, which is level 2. And that means that they take the theory into practical, and we physically work to become a high-level professional practitioner in remote spirit release. Ongoing from that, we have level 3, which is something that will be open to our practitioners, and they will be able to do the mastery of the remote spirit release and the SRA at level 3 stage. But that's only for people that have done level 2. Level 1 is for anybody. Level 2 is for anybody that wants to come in and take the training on to that professional level. So again, as you can see, all these things take a lot of time, but we are finally getting to the stage where the pictures of the jigsaw are finally coming together. And it's really, really nice. We've got Ashley, who's just come on. We've got Julia, Kamara, Dave. They're all coming in solo. And it's always great to see their names and always great to see them commenting on the podcast, because again, it just shows the width of community throughout the world.
Yeah, and community is quite a good word to kind of end on there. So another thing that we're about to deliver, really, we're working on it literally today, sat behind us. So we're actually building a community inside the app. So again, effectively, we have an app that will have our own community in. So at the moment we use Telegram, WhatsApp, those sort of channels, which are okay. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to have the SRA version of that, a private community, a safe space really for practitioners that are engaged in our courses to go online and talk, and obviously talk between each other. John and I will be in there, as will the rest of the management team. Obviously Ruth will be in there. But again, it's a place where people are having lots of conversations. And the community is really important to us, because we are aware that we've got Facebook and other types of socials, but we don't really control those social channels. If Facebook decides they don't like what we do, then of course that whole profile page or group disappears overnight. So we wanted to make sure that this work is academically ongoing, and we're going to be obviously running and leading the world in spirit release therapy and the way that we do things. We wanted to make sure that we actually control everything that we do. And it's a huge ask, because obviously it's very easy to go onto Facebook. You can create a group and we can start talking and people can join the group. But what we want really from our perspective is a behind the scenes kind of community of dedicated people that are actually interested in this work as an academic career, and certainly from a research perspective too. So that community app is being tested today, literally behind the scenes. And our existing practitioners are going to be onboarded over probably the next week or so. So again, from a place of usability, people that work with us, engage with us, do our courses and training, there's lots of these advantages now that we're actually starting to deliver. And it kind of has felt, I guess, probably to you too, like it's been a snowball that we've been kind of trying to push to the top of the hill now for so long, with all of these things behind the scenes working. And we've had an amazing team of people. We've had Julia, business manager. She's helped us and kind of guided us, pushed us actually in some ways to do things that we didn't really have an appetite for, but we kind of can see now that vision is kind of coming to fruition. We've had Ollie behind the scenes doing IT and delivering some of that, and offboarding, changing the architecture. So there have been some monumental changes from our perspective behind the scenes. And obviously all of those things are now starting to come good, really. And obviously we're seeing where we're going to go. So SRA is, this year, we're kind of running ahead, I guess it kind of feels like. And John and I have gone from conversations of pulling our hair out and lots of problems and chaos and stuff behind the scenes. The decks have been cleared now and this ship's left the port.
And that's the thing. I think, importantly, although we've been fairly quiet, particularly on this page and not coming on and talking too much, it is because we've just got so much to do and so much work we want to achieve. And we are achieving it. In the 4 months of this year, we've achieved more than in the 12 months of last year. No distractions, no people taking our minds where they shouldn't be. We're now completely focused doing what we do best, which is doing the work and helping practitioners and supporting them to be professional and to gain the highest professional ethics in doing this work as well. So what we have got at the moment is we're currently working through an online course. We've got students going through there. The castle, we get lots of messages about the castle and coming into the office. If you are in the UK and you want to come and visit us, you can do that anyway. Just send us a message. However, we have an in-person course in August. We already have people booked on. We already have people coming and confirmed. So if the in-person course is something that you're interested in, this will be with myself and Andy directly in the castle, in Terry Towers, the SRA HQ. This is where it's going to be, literally right here. So that's happening in August. We also have one in September as well. So 2 in-person courses coming up, and we have an online course coming in September. So whatever it is that you want to do on the training side, the foundation course level 1 will be released in May. If you want to do the practitioner level 2, we have the online coming in September, the next one. And in person, we have one in August and one in September. So again, lots of things happening. And also we're not releasing everything that we are doing, because there's other stuff that we're doing, which, you know, we're going to keep quiet again until that's all done and until that's ready to go. But you will see that probably by the end of June, the Academy will be very different to where it was in December last year. And that's because the first 6 months of this year has been about knuckling down, keeping our heads down, and getting the Academy to the levels where we want it to be, so that we can deliver the very best in holistic therapy, helping people. You know, this is what we're passionate about, helping people that are suffering, helping people with anxiety. This is why we do it. But we have to make sure that the foundations and the structure is completely in place to help the practitioners come through, so that they too can go out and do this amazing work.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to kind of narrate the SRA journey and story, really. And I think that's what this is. Obviously, Terry, bless him, is here. He's not just there, that's his picture. He's probably stood right here at the moment. But as you say, in terms of coming here to the castle, we deliberated whether we would do training in hotels, which is what we did before. We used the Beachford House, 5-star hotel in the UK, which was an amazing place, a bit like Hogwarts. The difference is that was like Hogwarts, this is Hogwarts, and that's the step change, really. So we decided that we would make the in-person courses smaller in numbers to accommodate people in this room. And this room, SRA HQ, is where we're going to be doing all of our training courses in person. So if you come on an in-person course, you come in here basically to Terry Towers. You'll probably get to hear Terry whispering things. He spends a lot of time whispering to us to get on with the work and get things done. And we're kind of continually being pushed. But I think
not always whispering either, is he?
Not always whispering, no. Yeah. But I think you can probably see from both of our personalities and kind of motivation now, we're highly motivated, and you know, SRA is becoming a big thing really out in the spiritual world. And that was one thing we wanted to do. We didn't want to just continue to focus on SRT as a practice, spirit release therapy. We've had so many people that want to learn about spirituality, and there are people coming into us from different places. So a lot of the facilitators we work with are not particularly spiritual. They're not mediums. They don't really understand spirituality sometimes in the way that we do, obviously, because we're experts in what we do. So we wanted to have this introduction to spirituality course and these sorts of training courses that people that are interested can do. They can get their feet wet, they can find out a bit of information, they can see if their journey aligns with where we're going and what we do. And we plan to have a lot more courses online for just general people. Yeah. So again, people that are interested in mediumship, how do I develop to become a medium? We haven't really covered that area, but again, we'll probably have courses quite soon coming online where we can kind of give you the foundations to start to learn how to train, where the path is, what to do. And there are lots of people being kind of turned on from a spiritual perspective, and we plan to be the organisation that is a place of truth and integrity that you can come in and start. And we've got some amazing practitioners behind the scenes that humble us really every day. We look at some people We've got PhD level doctorate people working with us. Again, we're in the mental health area. We're working, as John said, with people with severe mental health problems. And we want to be a place of safety for practitioners. So if you're a holistic practitioner, whether it's a hypnotherapist or a Reiki practitioner or other practitioners, then SRA is a place that you can find your feet in, you can come into, and very quickly you're going to engage with a very different caliber of person, because we have set the foundation that we only want the best people in the world that do this type of work. So this isn't a place where we just come in for a weekend and do things. The people that we have in the academy are specialists in their field that are leading the world in the way that we work and what we do and how we connect from a spiritual perspective. And of course, all of this follows Terry's work, really. So Dr. Palmer, Terence Palmer, was groundbreaking in his opinions, his views, the ways he said things. He was a character, and of course, that is our that's our hereditary. That's where we come from.
It's our foundation.
It's our foundation. Yeah, it's our genetics, really. So our genetics is this: we push forward. If there are blocks in the way, we go up them, we go around them, we go over them, but we're coming to the other side of the block. So whatever comes on the path from a spiritual perspective, we will get to the other side one way or another. And that's the way that we align ourselves.
So there's only one way forward, and that is the way we're going. There is so much more to share with you, so much more to give out, but all in good time. It will happen. A lot of it, bottleneck, except me and Andy, because there is just two of us. Even though we have a wonderful team that work with us now, it does always come down to myself and Andy, and there is a bit of a hold up with that. However, once we get the next footings in place for the next progression and enhancement within the academy, we will be on here letting you know, because there's some very, very big things coming out probably within the next 6 to 8 weeks. So exciting times ahead. The other thing as well is that we've just had a really good number of practitioners come through. You've probably seen it on the page now where they're coming through to certification, where there's been quite a good number in the last 10 days coming through and doing that. We've seen some amazing work come through from our practitioners, whether they're working on their family or friends, but now they're working on a professional basis as well with their practices. And it's just going from strength to strength. We're just so pleased and so proud of everybody that comes in and works under the banner of the Winged Sword, really. It's just an amazing experience for both of us. Very humbling and also very exciting with the next few months coming as well.
Yeah, I think it needs to be said as well from our perspective. Obviously, John and I co-founded SRA, started it, but we've got some incredible people behind us. So Natasha, Tara, Dave, Ruth. There are some incredible assessors and people that have been with us on this journey. And the journey's not been particularly level pegged, as you can imagine. When we're working head to head against the negative aspect, as we talk about, we're going to find that there is chaos, there are problems that come up. So the team behind the scenes that we've got are incredible people that have stuck with us through thick and thin. And now we're kind of coming out of the woods into the light. And obviously, I think from our perspective, it's good that we just acknowledge that there is, a team of people. You kind of know who you are, and we're very blessed to have you.
So exciting things happening. If anybody has any questions or they want to actually talk to us as well, one of the things that will be coming out in the next probably couple of weeks is that you will be able to arrange a time to speak to myself, Andy. If you have any questions about the academy, if you have any questions about doing the work, it is for people that are thinking about becoming practitioners and going into this space. So it will be the conversation about that. But this is something else that we're going to be offering very, very soon. So we know that, again, that is something that people want. They want to come and talk to us before they commit to doing, the next stage of their practitioner learning themselves. So we have been listening. We know everything that we should be doing, and we are getting there. As Andy said, there's only one way this ship is going, and we do get blocks, we do get diversions, but really they mean nothing to us. Blocks are there to go over, under, or through. Either way, we're still moving forwards. And this is just going to make a massive difference to us and the academy. Probably within the next sort of 2 months, like I say, you'll see a lot of differences coming through.
I think it's worth also just kind of highlighting that also we have Ruth now, the amazing Ruth, who works literally around the back of there, effectively sat down. She's here every day, 5 days a week, working with us. So she has a kind of role in the academy that's pivotal now. So she's taking a lot of the weight from myself and Jono in terms of the admin, the management, the payments, all of the conversational things that happen that take a lot of time. And it's a role that never really gets kind of too much praise. You know, the admin role is seen to be an admin role, but it's the admin people, those small cogs, that make the big cogs turn. So we do have someone here now that you can talk to, you can engage with, you can ask questions with. Yeah. And we're looking to get some new features added to the website and things to make it easier for people that have questions about doing the training courses, that you can kind of engage with a real person. And that real person will probably be Ruth or myself or Jono, of course.
Yeah, probably Ruth first, and then it'll come to us. So thank you always for your support. Thank you for the messages that we get. We have had a lot of messages come in the last few weeks, and they're continuing, which I guess is what our last podcast was about. And it is about keeping standards high. It is about working with professional people. And also, if you are going to connect spiritually, do it with the highest intentions and the highest of professional ethics. Otherwise, things do change in your life and things do happen. But where we are is we're very, very proud to say our bar never dips. The standard is always at the very highest, and it's probably just got better as well. So lots of things happening for us, so many exciting times. We just had Kate come in as well. Lots and lots of people coming in and really making some lovely comments over the last couple of weeks into the academy as well. So we do hope that we will be back on screen a lot more regularly. It's going to be a few weeks yet before we do it very regularly like we used to. But that's just because we've got so much to do and so much to achieve, really.
Yeah, I think it probably wraps things up, really. I think from our perspective, 2025 is going to be an amazing year for Spirit Release Academy, basically. I know there's lots of negative things going on in the world and that kind of stuff, but we're focused on the positive, and we're here to kind of make change. And of course, remember that the work that we do has a positive influence and change on the planet, on people in different countries, because we're raising the level of vibration, which obviously is an extremely positive mechanism whilst we're helping people on a daily basis.
So let's remain positive. Always remember there's a balance in the universe, and we always feed the energy that we want to be surrounded in. So always work with light. Let's be positive. Let's help each other. Let's support each other. And we look forward to speaking to you again in the future. So we will speak to you soon.
Cheers, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.